Alrighty, hey there guys, Adrian Acosta here, aka JetBro95, coming at you guys with another video. So in this video, guys, I'm going to be coming at you guys with a first part of two videos. This video is going to be these next two videos I'm going to be releasing, guys, are going to be talking about my predictions for each Team Diamond coming for Team Diamonds. Now, these are predictions, these are not confirmed, these are not actually going to be something that we know for certain. All this is just speculative. And just go from there. So I am going to be breaking this into two. I'm doing one for each team by conference. So this video is going to be the AFC, and then the next video, which is going to be out later today or tomorrow, depending on when this video goes up, will be the NFC. So if you guys could do me a quick favor, guys, and hit the like button and subscribe, as well as leave a comment. All three are very helpful in the algorithm. All three help me grow, and all three are making me feel wonderful and happy inside. So we're going to start out in the AFC East, and we're going to start off with the Buffalo Bills. So for the Bills, I have chosen Thurman Thomas. Won a Super Bowl, won a couple of Pro Bowls, got a couple of Pro Bowls, won an MVP, was a two-time All-Pro, gave the Bills a lot of years, like we're talking like almost over a full decade of years, and in his prime, you know, he wasn't the most effective of like, not effective. He was a very, very good runner, especially in that. There we go. I was looking at the wrong stats. He was a very, very good runner, especially in that historic Buffalo Bills no-huddle offense of the early 90s. Thurman Thomas, really great. Definitely do think he will be the Bills one. Next for the Jets, I have Don Maynard. John Maynard, for those of you that do not know, was the wide receiver for the Jets when they won the Super Bowl over the Baltimore Colts, or the, I think they were the Baltimore Colts at the time. I don't remember. But he was on that Super Bowl team. He passed away at the beginning of the year. Just 10 days into the year, he passed away. Gave the Jets a lot of years, won an All-Pro selection with them, led the league in receiving yards in 1967. Yeah, definitely I think would be nice to have Don Maynard in the game. It's just a matter of do they have his rights. He'll get a few team camps. He'll get the Cardinals, Jets, and Giants team camps. For the Miami Dolphins, I have chosen Mark Clayton. I know a 5'9" receiver is not the greatest. There were other options, like I thought about Dan Marino, for instance. But Dan Marino, I think, is such a big name to where he could very well just be an ultimate legend. But honestly, I think, 5'9" receiver for Mark Clayton was great. He could be a good speed threat down the field. Was a multi-time Pro Bowl, gave the Dolphins over almost a decade, and then he went to the Packers for his final year in the league. So be nice to see him. For the Patriots, I've chosen Deion Branch. This one was a bit of this was also another one that I chose simply based on because of the fact that, not because he's a 5'9" receiver, but because of the fact that, I could really think of other ones. Like Kevin Falk was a team diamond last year for the Patriots. LeGarrette Blount, I don't think would be a Patriots team diamond. I would more say he'd be a Buccaneers team diamond. But, he would get Seattle and New England chem, so obviously that would be nice for my Seahawks, but I think the Patriots could obviously use a nice speed guy over the middle of the field, or at least down the sideline on those deep routes. For the Ravens, we're on to the NFC North now. I've chosen Tony Siragusa. He was on their Super Bowl winning championship team in the 2000 season with that historic purple Baltimore Ravens defense. I swear there was like a nickname with like purple in it. He also played for the Colts for 7 years, but I think, his best years were with the Ravens. So I would definitely say give him that for the Ravens team diamond. He unfortunately did pass away on June 22nd, 2022. For the Bengals, I've chosen Reggie Nelson. I really couldn't think of anybody else for the Bengals, to be completely honest with you. Oakland was cool, but he only played like 3 years with them, and then he played 3 years with Jacksonville. He got a Pro Bowl selection with Cincinnati, but I don't know, man. It's just, yeah. I also got a second team All-Pro selection with them as well, but I don't know, man. This one was a little bit of a head scratcher. For the Cleveland Browns, I've chosen Josh Gordon. I was gonna pick Tim Couch, but Tim Couch, he only gave him like 5 years. And sure, Josh Gordon gave him like 4.5, 5 years. He would have gotten more if he didn't violate the league's wellness policy or substance abuse policy, which is ass backwards. But anyhow, he had 1,646 yards a season. He had 117 yards per game in the 2013 season. He was incredible. You know, obviously he would get a lot of team chems because he would get the Browns, Seahawks, Titans, and now Kansas City Chiefs, and Patriots. So he would get a lot of team chems, which would be interesting. So I would like to see Josh Gordon as the Browns team diamond, but I theoretically could see it not be just because he's still in the league. For the Steelers, I've chosen Antoine Randall L. Another small receiver, I understand. But the Antoine Randall L, he did give the Patriots some good years, and while he was never a superstar, he did win a Super Bowl. Actually, yeah, he did win a Super Bowl with them in the 2005 season when the Steelers got handed the Super Bowl trophy in that Super Bowl, which I will never forgive the referees for because we deserved at least deserved to have had a fair shot in that game. But whatever, it is what it is. But you know, Antoine, he was good for the Steelers for the most part, especially when they had guys like Hines Ward and Mike Wallace. Moving on to the AFC South. First off, we have Kevin Dyson for the Titans. Part of the Minneapolis Miracle. We all know how that turned out being. A lot of people's Bills fans specifically still think that was a forward pass. Was it? Let me know in the comments. But, you know, he was part of that Music City Miracle. He was on their Super Bowl run in the 2000 season, in the 99 season. You know, he was never a standout. He was never a superstar or an all-pro or even a Pro Bowler, but he was a good receiver. And he obviously did play a game with the Panthers, so I guess he'll get Panthers chem. For the Colts, I've chosen Brandon Stokely. This one was more or less because with the Colts theme team, some of the bigger names that you could have for Stokely, for the Colts, like Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, they're probably going to be legends at some point, maybe even ultimate legends. Edgerrin James just came out yesterday. I'm recording this video on the 11th of October, so he came out yesterday. And then on defense, they just got Dwight Freeney. So, I mean, I didn't really know who else to go with for them, so I just decided to go with Brandon Stokely. He was very, very good in his time in Indy. Had a lot of good seasons. In fact, one year had a 1,000-yard season, which is by far a career high. Yeah, he was a good third option for them in that offense. We'll get a host of team chems too: Baltimore, Indy, Denver, Seattle. I never knew this till today. New York, Denver, and Baltimore. He'll get a lot of good team chems for Brandon Stokely. For the Jaguars, I've chosen Tony Baselli. I honestly can't think of any other ones I would go with for the Jaguars other than Tony Baselli. I mean, like, to me, I don't get it. Not get it. I just don't think there is anymore. But he was very good. One of the best linemen of the mid to late 90s, was put to the 90s all-decade team, three-time All-Pro. Still conversations on he should be in the Hall of Fame or not. I think he should be. But that's whatever. And then lastly, for the AFC South, we have the Texans. We have Andre Johnson. Andre, you know, by far Houston's best player ever. Actually, that's not true because they have J.J. Watt. But Andre, you know, 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. He could very well get a legend card, and so they might pick somebody else. But I do think Andre would be a good selection for them. Next, we have for the, I believe this is for the Chargers. We're on to the AFC West here, finally. For the AFC West, we have the San Diego Chargers, and I've chosen Jamal Williams. Not the flashiest guy by any means. You know, he was a 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. But he gave the Chargers a lot of years, like over a decade. He gave them a long period of time for them. So I really do like that. Obviously, that was one of the bigger things I looked for. And then obviously he did play for Denver in the 2010 season. Moving on, next we have Demaryius Thomas for the Denver Broncos. I like this one solely because of the fact of, you know, he was taken from us way too soon, and I think this would be a great way to honor his memory by bringing him into the game. You know, he gave Denver quite a bit of years. Was a multi-time Pro Bowler, was in that historic Peyton Manning-led offense of the the early 2010s. You know, putting up 1,400 yards with ease for 3 consecutive seasons. Was arguably one of the best receivers in the league, and was tragically taken from us so soon. Next we have the Las Vegas Raiders, and I chose Rich Gannon, simply because of the fact, like, yeah, he did play the tail end of his career with them, but there's a couple of reasons. One is the fact that, you know, with Rich Gannon, he was the Raiders team diamond in Madden 21. And secondly is because of the fact that this was the time he had the most success. He went to the Super Bowl in the 2002 season, led the league in attempts, completions, passing yards, was an MVP that year, almost got Offensive Player of the Year, but did not. You know, he had the most success in Oakland. He had the most success in Oakland, so I think that would be the best time. That would be the best way, I would say, putting him in there. He will get a lot of other team chems, Minnesota, Kansas City, Washington he'll get, so he'll get some good team chems overall. And I just realized I don't have the Chiefs team diamond pulled up, so just give me 1 second here. All right, and lastly, guys, for the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm going with Priest Holmes. Again, another running back this time. But, you know, I thought about putting him as the Baltimore one, but when you look at his stats for, like, Kansas City, this is where, like, he really broke out. Had incredible rushing campaigns in 01, 2, and 3. Won Offensive Player of the Year in 2002. Was in MVP conversations. Was All-Pro. Like, you know, he was a very, very dominant running back in those years with the Chiefs. And I think that would be a good place to have him for the Team Diamond. So that is going to do it, guys. If you guys do agree or disagree with anything, let me know in the comment section below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts. And also, if you guys could like the video again and subscribe, that would all be appreciated. But until then, I'll see you next time.